You probably remember Andrew from the Bureau of Land Management. While we walked the Sloan National Conservation Area, he educated me about Sloan's Native American history and its geological foundation. And there was one more subject Andrew is knowledgeable about, and that's one of Sloan's local residents, the bighorn sheep.
Andrew, what do you got in your hand there?
Well, I have the pellets, or you could say the scat, of a bighorn sheep.
What does that tell you about the bighorn sheep?
Well, it tells me, first of all, that they're living in Sloan Canyon. We have a nice little population up here in these hills, and the bighorn sheep are the largest ungulate or hoofed animal in the Mojave Desert area. We don't really have hardly any deer here, but this is the big herbivore that lives up in the hills here.
What does that tell you about what they've been eating?
Well, bighorns are vegetarians, and they're eating the stuff around us, these shrubs and bushes. And in a lot of ways, it's things that other ungulates couldn't eat. They couldn't survive in the Mojave Desert. But desert bighorns are designed to live in the Mojave Desert, and they can go with very little food and very little water for long periods of time.
And if you break it open, what's it like?
Well, I always think it's like sawdust. And some people get grossed out when I do this, but I just pick up the vegetarian scat, and it really ends up just coming out like the dust in a barn, like the hay in a barn. And it's also a different shape than other ungulates. There's a whole science to scat. You can tell the difference between a deer scat and a bighorn scat just by the shape.
And the color? It looks greener.
Yeah, possibly. A lot of these plants have that kind of sagey, kind of minty green color, so we might see some of that. In terms of the shape, the bighorn scat is flatter on the ends, whereas a deer will have a point to it.
Is that sanitary? You be holding that?
Well, I have a rule. I only handle the scat of vegetarian animals. It's actually a thing. The predator scat has a lot more bacteria in it, whereas, like I was saying, this ends up being really nothing but sawdust, and it would even actually smell kind of like sawdust, like a barn.
You read this land different than I do. I'm impressed.
Yeah, the population up here just got finished with the rut, which is when the male bighorns compete for the females. And I actually heard them hitting their horns together about a month ago up here. And then about 2 weeks ago, I saw a young female come right down the canyon and walk up to me. She might be pregnant now, and those babies will be born in the springtime. And right away, they'll have to learn what bighorn sheep are good at, which is balancing on the rocks. Because that's their only defense, is to be high up on the mountain or on the cliff and be in a place where no animal could get to them.
One last question. What are you going to do with that?
I'll probably just leave it here.
Yeah, okay, that's a good idea.
Yeah, I don't think I'll bring it back to my apartment, but...
That's a good idea.
Well, there you have it. Not only do we know there are bighorn sheep in Sloan, we know they're eating well. And if you do see scat on the trails, just leave it be. Andrew is a professional. And just so you know, yes, he did wash his hands afterwards.